2, 1, let's go. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of hdsportspod podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Hewitt, here with my guys, Joey, Blue. Chubbs is not here today because he wanted to go to a Bruce Springsteen concert. And also he's taking a day off, of course, when Lamar requests a trade. We do have a special guest, man. Guy stitched a couple of our TikToks. We got some beefs that he's going to address early in the beginning of the show. We got our guy, Average Joe Sports, in the building, man. Appreciate you, one, for tapping in and coming in to the podcast episode. And, saw a couple of your TikToks, saw what you were doing. So I was like, gotta get this guy on the pod, man. So
yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So we're just gonna get all right off the bat. We're gonna do this anytime we have guests moving forward. You stitched some of our stuff. You didn't like what was said. So you did say before the pod, you got something for each of us. I don't know if DL's internet's gonna work when you get to his turn, but I can speak for him. If it needs to be. So you can start wherever you want to go, man.
Yeah, man. What we call this the
fade room. This is the fade room.
The fade room.
I'm gonna start with the Drew Brees take.
Okay.
We'll start with
what was it fully? What? Just remind me.
I just said he was overrated. I don't think. Sorry. I'll clarify what I'll say. There's a lot of hoopla on the internet about Drew Brees being a top 5 QB all time. And for me, if you put him in that conversation, you're overrating him. I just think someone who doesn't have an MVP, multiple losing seasons, pretty mediocre, and I get now I just think it's convenient that wins and losses aren't a QB stat when the QB isn't winning, but when they're winning, it's not it's a QB stat. So yeah, that's just my beef. Is I think Drew Brees is overrated. And there's a lot of quarterbacks I think are overrated too. So if you want to attack me about me saying Aaron Rodgers is also overrated, we can get in that too. So
let's take it one quarterback at a time. With Drew Brees, I mean, I just got to say, statistically, he's the best quarterback ever. He reached all the big milestones before Tom Brady did in less games. He did everything faster than Tom Brady. And if he played just as long as Brady did, or what, he retired in 2020, I believe, 2019.
2020, I think 2020, you're right. 20.
Yeah, if he played the extra 2 years, he would definitely have just more passing yards and passing touchdowns than Tom Brady did. But, at the end of his career, he did have injury issues. He had a punctured lung and somehow played in the playoff game against Tom Brady that postseason, then retired. But, top 5, I get it. But, he's still one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
That's correct. That is correct. I agree.
Drew Brees or Big Ben? Who are you taking?
Oh, Drew Brees all day. Big Ben was just such a meme. I mean, those training camp videos, him just like pushing the dummies out of the way.
Listen, this is why I say Drew Brees is overrated. One, the Drew Brees is not better than Benjamin Roethlisberger.
What?
He's not.
What?
You can call me a homer, don't care. Drew Brees is a dome playing merchant. He played over 50% of his games in domes. He doesn't play against the elements. He doesn't play against the elements.
Why that matters.
Yeah.
Is it easier, Joe? Is it easier, Joe's? I'm gonna say Joe's. You guys are against me. Is it easier to throw in a dome or throw against the elements? Joey, you have been in Heinz Field.
Yes.
On a windy, cold November, December night.
Yes, I have.
Throwing in Foxborough. I just think you have the luxury of playing in the dome. 8 of your games are home. And if you already count the one game in Atlanta where they're playing the dome as well, and they may play the Cardinals a year. A lot of dome games, a lot of dome games. But I don't understand how we can use that against Peyton Manning, but we can't use that against Drew Brees.
Who uses that against Peyton Manning?
A lot of
I
people.
don't.
I've never heard that before in my
Yeah,
life.
that I don't hear people talk because we still consider Peyton Manning as a top quarterback, like top. Some people have him in his 3 too, like, but they have him up there. So like, I don't see anybody giving Peyton Manning, stuff for that. So I don't know, man. Drew Brees still has the stats though. He still has the stats to prove it.
Joe,
he has a
Joe
ring.
too.
He
I'm
won a
asking
ring.
Joe too. Joe too. Where do you have Drew Brees all time? I know we're gonna do our top 10s at the end of the episode, but just give us a sneak peek. Where do you have Drew Brees all time?
Seventh all time.
7th.
Yeah.
With no MVPs.
Yep.
Never being a top 2 quarterback throughout his career.
That's the problem. I mean, he played in a generation with a bunch of top quarterbacks. He played in the generation of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. When would he have ever had a shot at being the top quarterback?
I saw a guy come in and just instantly became number 1,
When all of the quarterbacks were declining, like Tom Brady, I mean,
if there was prime Peyton, prime Brady, prime Rodgers, prime Brees, Mahomes will still be better than all of those guys.
I mean, yeah, Milhomes would be so much better than all of them, but is that the conversation we're having here? Is that the conversation we're having?
No, you're right. Let me not
Drew
defer. All right, 7 is not too bad. I'm okay with that. It's just I heard a lot of conversations of him being 5. Do you think he's better than John Elway?
Yes.
See?
Yes, I do. And, some of that might be recency bias. Some of that might be just me being a stats guy, not a box score guy, but just the stats guy. But, there are a lot of reasons as to why I love Drew Brees as a quarterback.
Okay.
I'll give Drew Brees his credit. He did play with some lackluster talent. I'll give him that.
Who's in WR1? Marquise Colston?
Yeah.
We're not going to try Marcus Colston like this.
Well, hold on.
We had this whole argument before.
He's not in your top 10, right?
I hate him doing bring up Marquise Colston like he was a scrub, like he wasn't nice. Like he was nice.
I mean,
was nice.
but was he great?
He was a top 10 receiver in his prime.
Well,
whatever DL is trying to say, I don't know what he's trying to say.
Came in and just I think he's switching over. You
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, we good.
All right. So DL has made his appearance. DL. Listen, I can live with him being 7. He's more than 8 or 9 for me, but I can live with him being at 7. I don't think he's better than John Elway, but that my statement was he was only overrated because people had him in his top 5. As long as you have him in the top 5, I can say Big Ben's better than him, but that may be a little still a bias in me. Okay,
you got Big Ben in your top 10. It sounds like it.
Oh, do you?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean,
Cool.
I'd get Bradshaw, but Big Ben, I would not
understand. Wait. Big Ben is way better than Terry Bradshaw.
I mean,
let's not do this.
If you go into the top quarterbacks, you also have to include, their accomplishments with the team, right?
Right. That is true.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Mean Joe Green the accomplishments. I'm not gonna give Terry Bradshaw.
He did have a great defense, but so did Ben. Ben had great defense as well.
Yeah.
And in the Super Bowl, gave us amazing performances. Terry did not do that.
Big Ben, I think he's one of only 2 quarterbacks all time to throw 500 yards in a playoff game.
Yeah. And only quarterback to throw it 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he's talent. All
right, get this heat off of me now, Joe.
Get
your next. Your discuss with one of our takes off.
All right, and I gotta thank y'all for this because I'm pretty sure I got 50 followers for just replying to y'all take about Julio Jones not being a Hall of Famer.
Oh my god!
So I mean, I think that really boosted my TikTok page for a day or two. But
all right, I have my reasons, but I mean, what you got?
Wait, Joey, before it happened, you changed your stance. You said he was a Hall of Famer at that NFL.
Okay, so now look, again, the way we said it, I feel like, if we're talking about, he's not going to be first ballot, 100%. We know that. The question I want to ask y'all, before I go in, do you have Marshawn Lynch? Y'all think he's going to the Hall of Fame? No. I believe, looking at their type of career, it's very similar. They balled for a while, and then they kind of fell off. They had moments when they came back and they will ball again. But the only difference with Marshawn Lynch is that he's played with higher level and he's been to the Super Bowl, and he was able to showcase that in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people were like, oh, yo, this guy's a real deal. Julio, amazing player. We're talking about ability to play, routes, going up, getting the ball, whatever he got to do. He is amazing. If we're just talking about just ability, I can say he would be one of my top receivers. But if we're talking about also accomplishing, yes, his stats was amazing. He did lead the league in a certain amount of years, but was it enough? So now, is the Hall of Fame all about longevity, or is it just to do well for the time that you're there? So for me, I was like, maybe he was on the cusp of it, but I don't think he did enough. I think his time was cut short and he didn't make it, and he might not make it. But if he does, kudos. That's how I feel about Marshawn Lynch a little bit. But for him, he has an edge because he has a Super Bowl. So that's my take on it.
Wow, that is a very respectable take. It's wrong, but it's respectable.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay. You have some good points. Like Julio Jones, while he was at arguably a top receiver for many years in the league, I mean, he isn't a lock. I'll admit it right here that he's not a lock for the Hall of Fame as of right now. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? No shot at all. He hasn't won any rings, and even though I hate the whole ring thing, that's really what matters right now. Can he get in the Hall of Fame? 100%. I mean, when Julian Edelman retired, people were saying this guy could get in the Hall of Fame, and I'm like,
that's this guy right here.
No,
that guy. Man.
Okay, so I might have to talk to you after this. No, I mean, if Julian Edelman ever gets into the Hall of Fame, it better be after Julio Jones makes it. If AJ Green ever makes it to the Hall of Fame, it better be after Julio. I mean, Julio is a better receiver than all of them. He was a star for so many years. And I think, again, not a first ballot lock at all in the slightest, but maybe a few years after, he could definitely make the Hall of Fame. Or be a, what do you call it for the old guys? Those selections.
Like veteran ones, historian ones, like after 40 years or 30 years.
If that's what he got to do to get in, hey, right.
That still counts. That still counts, man.
I mean, it counts, but come on. Oh, no.
You're in Canton. That's the end goal, right?
Right. That is true, man. That is true, man. Julio's about to be 70 years old. Wait to get into the Hall of Fame. All right.
And when he gets the knock, he will love it.
Yeah, fact. I mean, but look, I do think, I don't know if the criteria has changed for being a Hall of Fame. I feel like when I was younger, watching people get into the Hall of Fame, it was a lot harder for them to get into the Hall of Fame. So I think just with the longevity that he's played, I think that just kind of come a bit short, right? But that's all I got to say about it.
I definitely agree with the criteria being a little harder because now we got Eli. And people say he's a
the fact that Torrey Holt isn't in the Hall of Fame yet, I mean,
that's crazy.
What does that guy have to do?
That's crazy.
Right. So you already addressed two. Do you have one more? You good with his takes?
I might want to talk about the Julian Edelman thing, but I think my words would not be appropriate for a podcast. So that's going to be a whole other thing.
We blew up when he said Julian Edelman was the Hall of Fame. That was crazy.
Hey, you should hear his
That's
Cooper
just
Cup
crazy.
takes.
Are we going to do this again? Is this just
You don't want to go back to it. No,
logic?
No,
it was the dark day.
It was dark days, man. There were conversations with DL in college that Julian Edelman was as good as Antonio Brown. It was.
there's just no.
I didn't. No. See, there you go. That's what he does. He twists the words. I said something along the lines of Julian has the same ability as Antonio Brown. As far as
It doesn't make it any better.
That does make it better. Like,
if Julian Edelman has the same ability as Antonio Brown, then Tom Brady did not utilize him at all. So that sounds like it's going to be.
That's also because though he was playing alongside. Like, Julian Edelman came in when the receivers were already established. Like, Tom Brady made every single receiver that he played with. Honestly, like, he had a bunch of no names, and Julian Edelman came into the spotlight because Wes Welker was heading out. On top of him having Gronk, him having Hernandez, so Julian Edelman kind of fit the offensive style already. But let's not act like Julian Edelman didn't come in and have a huge impact. He got the rings. I'm not gonna say he was ever the best at his position. However, he was a top receiver stats.
Was he ever a top 10?
Was he ever top 10? That's debatable.
Is it though? Is it really debatable?
No, it's not.
Again, it goes off of like what we're like. I can't. I'm not taking 9 receivers before. I'm taking 9 receivers before I'm taking Julian Edelman. Let's be real. Like,
15.
15. That's debatable.
Okay.
Because
have you ever met someone like when drafting for fantasy football? Have you ever met someone like 9 wide receivers are off the board already? Have you ever met someone that said, Julian Edelman's on the board, I should just take him now? He's definitely a great option.
That's the same argument we had with Drew Brees, bro. Look at the receivers he was playing with. Like, you know what I'm saying? He played in an era of good receivers. Like,
Edelman played. Hold on. Edelman played with the greatest quarterback of all time. He had and he's playing in one of the best offensive systems at the moment.
Bro, time out.
So
we're not gonna do this because Tom Brady wasn't the greatest quarterback of all time when he won those Super Bowls, bro. He was the greatest he was getting into that role. He was in his prime. But y'all was saying back in 04, 05, 03 that the defense won them Super Bowls. Drew Bledsoe, he came in, he wasn't even a starter. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, right?
Yeah, but
when did Tom Brady stamp the GOAT status to you? You're a Patriots guy.
Probably around the time in which he probably be Seattle, like that span in which
that's prime Julian Edelman, though.
Yeah,
exactly. So prime Julian Edelman came and had a big impact on Tom Brady being established, and it's not like we just said, Julian Edelman.
The roles is reversed. Right?
Julian Edelman was never considered one of the top receivers, but if we're saying that the reason why Tom Brady was not so successful, but a contribution to his success was Julian Edelman on top of Gronk, on top of Bill, whatever. Let's not just discredit Julian Edelman. Like, let's say without that catch in the 28-3, they don't win.
Let's imagine for a little bit. Let's imagine for a little bit Edelman on a different team. Are we talking about him?
I'm not gonna lie. When Cam came out there, him and Julian Edelman was snapping.
It was leading the league, bro.
Until Cam got COVID.
But then we also saw Matt Castle almost win MVP in that system. So again, I'm saying a different team. Are we talking about Edelman? I don't think so.
I as much as I like to disagree with DL, I'm not that high in Julian Edelman. But in the playoffs, he's a spectacular playoff receiver. I'll give him credit for that.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as Cooper Cup, bro. Are we talking about Cooper Cup if he
don't compare Julian Edelman to Cooper Cup again?
Crazy.
That's a whole other conversation right there.
That's crazy.
Let's get to the first topic, man. Let's get to the first topic. So today, Lamar Jackson put out a tweet to fans, and I'm gonna read the tweet from Lamar himself. So Lamar said to fans essentially that he's requesting a trade. I want to read the tweet himself. I'm very upset that Chubbs isn't here today because he is the Ravens guy of the podcast. And it's just so funny because he was telling me and Joey that we don't know anything, that Lamar's going to be here. He's happy. There's nothing going on. It's just the reporters talking. But a letter to my fans. I first want to thank you all for all the love and support you consistently show towards me. All of you are amazing, and I appreciate y'all so much. I want you all to know not to believe everything you read about me. Let me personally answer your questions. In regard to my future plans, as of March 2nd, I requested a trade from the Ravens organization, for which the Ravens has not been interested in meeting my value. Any and everyone that has met me or been around me know I love the game of football. My dream is to help a team win the Super Bowl. You all are great, but I had to make a business decision that was best for my family and I. No matter how far I go or where my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my fans of Baltimore Flock Nation and the entire state of Maryland. You'll see me again. Trust. Tell him to stay connected on his fan page, like he was an OnlyFans for girl for some reason. But yeah, and this was all right before, Harbaugh was scheduled to have a chat with the media as well. So my questions for you guys is, do we think Lamar actually gets traded? And two, who hurt this situation the most, the Ravens or Lamar? We're going to have Joe, too, start us off here. I think in our little preview, he spoke differently than I, so I want to see what he thinks.
Okay.
I want to answer the second question first. I think Lamar screwed himself over. I get, there have been players who have negotiated great contracts for themselves with no agent, like Laramie Tunsil. But Lamar Jackson's not doing a good job. He's not representing himself well, and he's asking for fully guaranteed money still. I haven't heard anything to disprove that has changed. No one is going to do what the Browns did for Deshaun Watson, because the Browns did up again in that situation. But yeah, Lamar just screwed it all up. If he lowers the guaranteed value, then I think he could make $50 million a year. But yeah, I think he's going to get traded. And I'm hoping he gets traded to the Panthers, because I am just super excited. I'm super excited for that team already, because after they got the number 1 pick, they just made so many moves, getting Miles Sanders, getting a bunch of Jacksonville Jaguars receivers. I did not realize they have DJ Chark. They have so many Jacksonville Jaguars players. They have CJ Henderson. I do not remember them getting that.
Yeah, they traded for him like a year or two ago, right before.
Yeah, that might sound right. But I want to see him go to the Panthers. What better place than the Panthers? Maybe the Colts. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. But this situation is becoming a mess already, or it already is a mess.
I like the Panthers idea. That's kind of like what the Panthers kind of been looking for. Is either AR-15 or Lamar. I think for them. But I would like him to go to the Colts. I think that would be a good opportunity for him. They possibly could trade. I don't see them trading the 4th. They have the 4th pick, right? Yeah, I don't see them trading the 4th pick. I see them trading the 4th pick to another team to acquire more picks, and then probably trade for Lamar. But I think I don't want to say one, because I'm gonna say both, really, who I think faults, obviously. Because I do agree he is looking for a lot more money than I do think he's actually worth on the market, because of, yes, he's an MVP, but also the ability to stay healthy plays factor into that. So I think him asking for a lot of money there. But I do blame the Ravens, because this is your franchise quarterback, the team that has led you to have however many wins. Pretty much it's the leader of your team. I think for them to show everyone else that they couldn't not at least salvage this relationship within the last 2 years, that it shows them how they feel about their franchise players. So to me, I was like, yo, that's kind of messed up, right? But again, yes, he put it out there. He said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. They couldn't come to terms. The whole agent thing, I'm not too sure about that. I feel like he does have an agent. But if he doesn't, then that is wild to deal with some deals without an agent. But I don't know. With that being said, I think he's not gonna be there. I feel like they both dropped the ball there, dude. I think he missed the ball on a big contract, and I think the Ravens missed the ball on keeping a franchise quarterback. And they both probably could have found a medium there. Obviously, whatever. Like you said, the Browns it up with Deshaun, because Deshaun didn't play for 2 years, and they gave him that huge contract, which was crazy. So whatever Lamar was thinking, I think yo, you probably need to come back to reality and just kind of like, hey, yo, you can still ask for a lot because he's the MVP, but hey, so that's my take on it.
I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, I really don't. I think they both messed up their relationship, and I say that because I mean I get what y'all saying with the Browns, but at the same time the Browns were in a better position because the Browns actually have weapons to surround Deshaun Watson. The Ravens I feel like the Ravens are kind of playing this one close because it's like you sign Lamar to this massive contract, then you don't really have anything to put around him because all the money's in Lamar. On top of knowing that he's injury prone. He hasn't been healthy. You have a quarterback in Tyler Huntley who isn't terrible. So you do want to keep Lamar. Lamar is a generational talent, in my opinion. I know we kind of, some people might disagree. But again, he's only won one playoff game. Showed his inability to not stay healthy. He does scramble out. His play style is very vulnerable. So I think that the Ravens kind of knew what they was doing, hoping that Lamar would back down and kind of, if he doesn't, then we'll just use that money in other places and kind of sort of rebuild. But at the same time, Lamar, he should be asking for a max contract. We already talked about it. We see all these other players, all these quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson getting all these max contracts, and he's better than them. Like, let's be honest, he's better than a lot of these quarterbacks. So I think the Ravens kind of dropped the ball, but rightfully so. Lamar not having an agent, that's kind of strange. But we'll see how it plays out. But I definitely do think the Ravens will, if they don't sign Lamar. I think Lamar's gone. Like, I really think Lamar's gone. I would like to see him in Washington, which is my 1B, my team 1B. I'm a Patriots fan, by the way. I would like to see him in Washington. I think that'll be a good formula for him to, compete at the least. Good defense, surrounding weapons on offense, good running back core, good offensive coordinator. But I think he's done. I think he's out. And I think the Ravens definitely about to start or use that money that they would have offered Lamar to put pieces around their next quarterback, honestly. Because that's what they need. They've been missing weapons on offense.
The Ravens are playing the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They got fooled by Joe Flacco and they gave him all that money after he won a Super Bowl. Lamar didn't win a Super Bowl. So they're like, you think we're going to give you that money after we got fooled by a quarterback who had an elite playoff run, which you haven't had? Kyler Murray got 5 years, $230 million with $160 million guaranteed. The supposed number that the Ravens offer Lamar is $133 million, supposedly. That's what Lamar's camp is saying. If that's what they offer him, that's disrespectful. I think what Lamar probably wants is longer years as well, which is also an issue. I think Lamar should get like a 5-year contract, probably worth $250 with like $190 guaranteed. Which is just a little notch step above what Kyler got. I don't think he should want Deshaun Watson money because I don't think Deshaun Watson is worth the money that he got in general. As far as who messed this up, I think it's a little bit of both. It's been a really messy negotiation. fans of Ravens, I think you guys know your franchise is lovely, but they're definitely leaking stuff to media members to make Lamar look bad in the light. And Lamar coming out every week and tweeting something regarding his contract negotiations is also a mishap on his part. I think this tweet was him basically saying, I'm done. Like, I want the world to know I'm done being a Baltimore Raven, because he requested this trade 25 days ago. They franchised him after he requested the trade as well. So he's not going to be a Raven. And the Ravens actually need to get this trade done before the draft so they can figure out who their future QB is going to be. Like Joey said, I don't think any of these top teams are going to give up, like the Colts. I don't think they're going to give up that number 4 pick for Lamar. I wouldn't either. I think the best position for the Ravens to look at the Washington Commanders, which is right down the street. I also think that's the best situation for Lamar. I know you guys are high on the Panthers, but if Lamar were to get Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, the three-headed, I want to call them monsters, but the three-headed running back group, a cool O-line, and we all know when Chase Young comes back, that defense is absolutely nasty with one of the best defensive lines right next to the 49ers and the Eagles with Payne and Jonathan. So, it could get really scary. Lamar would go to the NFC and be the consensus number 1 quarterback. Yes, over Dak Prescott, Joes. Yes, over Dak Prescott. He would be the number 1 quarterback in the NFC. And he should want to get out of the AFC. Especially if Aaron Rodgers is coming to the AFC. There's just more battles.
You think it's gonna be better than Jalen Hurts over there?
Yeah.
I think it's Super Bowl or bust with him in Washington. I'm not gonna lie. It's Super Bowl or bust if he go to Washington.
If he goes to Washington, that's a competitive division. So he's going to a competitive situation.
The reason why I want to see him go to Washington, because 1, I think it works for him because the weapons. But 2, I want to see if everything he think or believe about Eric Bieniemy would have to be true. Then I kind of went smooth. If they got the defense, so if Eric Bieniemy is who everyone thinks he is outside of the owners, then this great offensive mind. You give him Lamar, plus those receivers, plus that running back group, they should be a top 10 offense.
It's literally a better situation than what Jalen Hurts was in last year. You know what I'm saying?
But
obviously the defense isn't as good.
He's playing 2 top defenses in that.
Yeah, but have you
Philly lost a lot.
Have you seen
Philly did lose a lot?
I mean,
have y'all seen
Philly lost a lot of players to stop the run. Yeah, so Lamar might be good against Philly, but Dallas even
now the fan
Dallas defense.
No, seriously though, I mean,
yeah,
there's a point there. The two of the best defenses in the league. Philly might have lost a lot, but they still have a lot of pieces coming back. And who knows? Maybe Nakobe Dean can fill the hole that C.J. Edwards left. But I mean, the NFC South is wide open right now. It's wide open. The Panthers have Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall Jr., and while that receiving core might not sound threatening,
I know we're not talking about 34-year-old Adam Thielen.
Listen,
seriously,
Adam Thielen can still give you.
He's good. No, he's definitely a great receiver too.
He's
a good receiver too.
He can give you if you ask him to give you 1,000 yards.
I'm not going that far. Not going.
Adam Thielen can give you what you.
He wasn't giving me 1,000 yards, and Jealous was getting triple teamed.
What do you mean? He was getting targeted all the time. Justin Jefferson was getting the ball all the time, and
Joey.
Hold on.
He was never a number 1 receiver on the team, bro, ever. So he's not gonna go to another team and be a number 1 receiver.
When Stephon Diggs was there, they both were getting 1,000 yards.
He was not the number 1 receiver, though.
Oh,
I don't think anyone is expecting him to be the number 1 receiver on the Panthers, though.
No, without
not at all.
Now, if DJ Moore was still there, I would give you guys the Panthers. I would give you guys the Panthers. But no DJ Moore. I like DJ Chark, but it's not moving me.
Yeah, but the other pieces
LaVisca Chenault, it's not moving me. When I could get Terry McLaurin.
I think the receiving core got better for the Panthers, even though they got rid of DJ Moore. I think just the pieces that they added, I think overall it got better. Yes, you're missing a great player, but it got better. Now, if he goes to Washington, yes, he's on a great team, but he's still going versus comp. Now, the only thing I don't like to talk about it, but he is injured.
Well, we acting like he ain't go against comp in the AFC North. Like, what we acting like right now?
Yeah, but let's okay. So is the Washington team better than Ravens? Than
the Washington team, bro? The Washington team was a tie away from being in the playoffs, bro.
They didn't make it though.
With
Heineke.
They didn't make it though. They didn't make it though.
But you add Lamar on that team, that's 5 more wins.
And then, like I said, you haven't seen. Have y'all seen the Eagles' schedule for next year, bro?
The Giants gonna have a better record.
With Lamar on the team?
Yeah.
Nah, you're just
don't sleep on the Giants, man. Don't sleep on the Giants.
Snoring.
Don't sleep on the Giants. But you guys just don't like the Commanders because you think
I don't want to. You like the Commanders because of the Eagles and the Cowboys being in it.
I just think he's going back to
a tough division.
And then I also think, like, bro, he's getting hurt. He needs a break. I think he needs to rest, honestly.
I think with his weapons, Joe, he's not going to have to do as much. You know what I mean?
We say that now.
They don't have to run RPO
it's game
in
time.
Washington. They don't have to run an RPO in Washington.
They're going to still run it.
They probably still run it.
To be fair, like Jalen Hurts, who basically has a very similar play style to Lamar Jackson, he had a bunch of weapons. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. He still got hurt a few games. So, I mean, and the best offensive line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar doesn't try to run people over like Jalen Hurts. He tries to run away. Jalen Hurts thinks he's a running back sometimes when he gets the ball. So,
well, he is.
It's like, he had a lot of rushing touchdowns this year.
Yeah. A lot of QB sneaks.
He in the Super Bowl, he had 3 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, he ran.
Crazy.
But yeah, so we all think that the trade is going to happen. Like, this isn't just as our friend Chubbs, and he'll be here on Friday to defend himself.
Yeah,
like, he texted us in the group. He said this is a strategic move by Lamar to force the Ravens to make a move. So,
force the Ravens to do what? I mean, I don't see a possibility where he wants to stay in Baltimore. You know, they have nothing except for Mark Andrews, and he's getting worse by the year.
What do you mean? They signed Nelson Aguilar. That's a big offensive acquisition.
Right? They're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
with or without Lamar, they're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to drop a touchdown pass thanks to Nelson Aguilar.
So, do the Ravens give Tyler Huntley the keys, or do they try to get another quarterback?
That's a Pro Bowl quarterback right there.
Yeah. They're gonna ride that boat, man. It's like, we're gonna take Tyler Huntley. You're gonna just use it because that defense is getting paid. They're paying a lot of money, so they're gonna no, we're gonna make this work. Tyler Huntley is probably one of the best backups in the league. They're gonna try to make it work as best as they can, unless they could acquire something for Lamar. But they have to do something with Lamar. He can't sit there on the tag not playing next year. He can't. It's going to be terrible for them. That's the worst situation for them.
Yeah, they don't want it, because I remember as a Steelers fan when the whole Le'Veon thing.
Yeah,
that was like such a dragging, annoying thing throughout the year. Oh, will he come right before the deadline is up? Is he going to play? Then they had the beef between the organization found a way to get Le'Veon to go, like the players to go against Le'Veon. You had Mike Tomlin every week. We want volunteers, not hostages. So, like, it's going to get nasty. So, and I don't think Lamar can also afford not playing a year of football as
He
well.
probably should. Probably take a break. Relax. Come back next year. And I mean, listen, I think
you
about
saw
it,
how Deshaun Watson looked after a year of not playing football.
yeah, but
he was a way better thrower of the football than Lamar.
I think this should happen more than not. Players actually take a year off, bro, for their body, because we seen especially players that get hurt consistently. I think there should be more common for them to take a year off and come back fresh. This player, this is O-line, man. He's coming back in the league. He took a year off. He's like, yo, I'm feeling way better because I used to get injured all the time. Now he wants to come back and play. So I think that should be common nowadays.
But, you gonna tell two of that?
I said we should trade his ass for Lamar. I'm so for it. I'm so for it. We should get rid of him. But we got him. We stuck with him. He's gonna play. It is what it is.
All right. We kind of mentioned the Carolina Panthers. They made some good moves this offseason. Obviously, they have the number 1 pick in the draft. So who do you guys think who should be their guy? Right now, it's a lot of rumors between AR-15, Anthony Richardson, and CJ Stroud. Who do you guys think they should want?
I mean, I think they're going Anthony Richardson, but I think they should go CJ Stroud. I'm not sold on him yet. I think he had one good year, and he looks phenomenal. He's great, fast, probably like another Cam Newton-ish type person that I think the Panthers want. But I think CJ Stroud is the best quarterback in the draft. And I think that's where they should go at number 1. Really. I mean, and I think they won that trade. I think this is what they needed. And they still make some moves in the free agency. So I think they're in a really good position. So yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking at the time of the trade, Anthony Richardson might have been the way to go. You know, they didn't really make any of the moves until after the trade. So when the trade happened, I was like, they're a rebuilding team. They need a project quarterback. That's who Anthony Richardson is. But then they got Miles Sanders. They got Adam Thielen, who won't be a WR1 again. But, I mean, he's a good veteran wide receiver. He can teach the young guys, and there are a lot of young receivers on the Panthers. They got Hayden Hurst. I mean, they have a good receiving corps in a weak division. This is the playoff team if they get CJ Stroud. And I know that's not saying much because, again, it's the NFC South. The winner doesn't even need a winning record to go to the playoffs.
Right. That is true.
Yeah.
I go. I think Smooth's internet messing up again. I agree with you guys, actually. Do I think CJ Stroud will be the best quarterback in this draft? No. But I do think he's the right fit for the Panthers opposed for Anthony Richardson. Just because I think for the Frank Wright system, it makes more sense to have CJ Stroud. You want somebody that's going to stand there, throw the ball a little more, be somebody that's a better thrower, a little bit more accurate. That's something that Anthony Richardson still needs to work on, still needs a footwork to work on it. And like you said, this team can be a playoff team with CJ Stroud. Now, Anthony Richardson, on the other hand, I do think he's the best quarterback in this. As a guy who's a Florida guy.
That's so true. That's true. I mean, after a few years in the league, I think he'll be the best quarterback from the draft class.
But it all definitely depends where he goes. If he goes where I think he's going to end up, which I think he should end up with the Colts, with Sean Steichen, and literally they can literally run the same system he had with the Eagles. Just do what you did with Jalen Hurts with him, and he will end up becoming the best quarterback in this draft.
Now, would that be good? Would that be good for his game? Do you think he'll develop? Because we talk about quarterbacks that done this in college, they come in and they end up doing it again in the NFL, and then we tend to call them running backs. We tend to call them the guy that wants.
He's going to be a runner for the first 2 years. There's no doubt.
So
he's going to be a runner and have some big shocking. He's going to be like Cam. He's going to have some big shocking throws because he has the arm. I think the difference between him and the other guys is those other guys don't have the arm like he had. Like that's why Cam was so unique because Cam had a cannon, and he was also 6'5" and ran a 4'4" and 245 pounds. So like the other guys that we call running backs they're a little smaller, 215-ish, arms not as strong, and also those guys were playing with ultra talented receivers. Some in college, something Cam and Anthony Richardson did not have. Cam made Sammy Coates look good. And now people are talking about Evan Purcell being a really good receiver coming out next year, which I'm a Gator fan. I know he's not good. I know the guys that Anthony Richardson was throwing to were not good. So, yeah, I do think with Sean Simon, the way that what Sean is what Shane Simon, I said Sean Shane. What he did with Jalen Hurts, to leave that Jalen Hurts, yeah, you could credit that to them getting A.J. Brown, but just throwing the ball, you could see he became a better thrower of the ball in the last 3 years. The first 2 years, you saw the growth. So that's why I think the Colts is the best situation for Anthony Richardson. I think the best situation for him is not to be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah, sometimes that's a blessing. Just ask Eli.
I don't think Smooth is back yet. So we just get to the next topic. So, this is us catching up because we missed a couple pods because a lot of stuff is happening, but Aaron Rodgers did pick the Jets. Still hasn't happened yet, but he did pick the Jets as his destination. I do have a question for you, getting back to the Lamar thing. If you're the Jets and you can kind of get Lamar, are you going to go with Lamar or go with Aaron Rodgers? Are you going to take 2 years of Aaron or 5 years of Lamar? Is really the question at the end of the day. You do have to give up more assets.
Well, for who? For Lamar?
Yeah, you're going to have to give up 2 first-round picks. No matter what, every team's going to have to give up 2
Well, the Packers were asking for more because Aaron Rodgers want to say he's the best Packer of all time. So the Packers just like, well, if you're the best Packer of all time, we should get more for you then. But I don't know, man. That's tough.
Oh, DL, you're back. Do you want to say anything on the last topic about the Panthers? Should they get CJ Stroud?
No, I was just asking. You said sometimes it's a blessing not to be the number 1 pick, but is that more so to not be a disappointment? Because I do think that AR-15 would be the right choice for the Panthers. Because he is a simulation of Cam. I think they can build that team around AR-15 the same way they did around Cam, honestly.
I don't think they built the team around Cam. They built the defense. I don't want to say the offense. And I love Anthony Richardson. But Cam Newton, in my opinion, that season of Cam Newton is the greatest season I've ever seen a quarterback play in college football history. And he was a way better talent coming out.
I'm talking about for the Panthers.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying Cam Newton, where Cam Newton was coming out of college, when Anthony Richardson coming out of college, it's like 2 different things.
Yeah.
If Anthony Richardson could throw the ball where CJ Stroud is right now, no brainer. Panthers, go get him. But his ability to throw the ball isn't on the level of where they need him to be currently.
Well, we acting like he got receivers to throw the ball to.
I know. And I think in the Panthers, in my opinion, these guys love the Panthers receiving core. For me, Terrace Marshall and Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, and Laviska Shenault is not moving.
Wait, so the Colts receiving core is better?
Michael Pittman Jr. is better than any receiver.
So just because one guy is better, the whole receiver core is better.
Everybody else.
I don't know. I like Alec Pierce.
Is he a starter?
He's receiver 2. Don't miss a second. He's receiver 2.
He's the Alex Pierce.
He's in the Adam Thielen role. All right, that's what he's in. He's in the Adam Thielen role. All right. And they got a nice high second round pick. They could get somebody like Tank Dell or something.
Probably, but I'm not too bought on all the receivers in draft. There's a couple, but
Yeah, it's not too many that just gonna come out and start snapping. I don't think.
Yeah,
You'll be surprised.
maybe probably will.
But Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
my question was, would you pick 2 years of Aaron? Because we all know, I think we all know we're only getting 2 years out of Aaron. Or bite the bullet, give it the 2 first-round picks, and go get Lamar. Plus the money he wants.
I'd get Lamar personally. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Jets are so committed to Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's a problem of theirs. But Lamar Jackson, I mean, they're both MVPs, and Aaron Rodgers did get 2 recently. But Lamar Jackson's 26 years old, and even if you have to give up 2 first-round picks for him, you got a great team right there already. The biggest flaw in the Jets season last year was the quarterback. I mean, other than, the elite Joe Flacco. But, I mean, why don't the Jets just replace Ravens legend with another Ravens legend,
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it.
I agree with that, but I don't think. Well, we all know they're going to go to Aaron Rodgers, but the reason why I feel like they will, because the Jets have been rebuilding for a long time. I think and last year was at that point where it's like, wow, all you're missing is a proven quarterback. Lamar has won 1 playoff game.
Yeah, as long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to play San Francisco, they should be all right.
Get him out the AFC. Get him out the NFC, right? So I think when Aaron Rodgers winning MVPs back to back, him winning a Super Bowl, at least having a Super Bowl, obviously with the people he won the Super Bowl with, was he played with some great receivers at that moment. But what Jets have is amazing. With the receivers and just the young guys that they have. I think Aaron Rodgers can go out there and dice things up on the field. I think there'll be a problem if they do get him.
We've already seen
and that's
story.
where I would go. So
I've already seen this story with the Jets. He did it with Brett Favre, take on Packers legend, and now they're going to take another Packers legend. Aaron Rodgers is Brett Favre. That's all it is.
Aaron Rodgers is miles above Brett Favre.
Yeah, facts.
He is. I agree.
He's better than Brett Favre.
Even at his old age. He's 38, 39.
First of all, didn't Brett Favre bring him to the AFC Championship? Don't disrespect Brett Favre until he got hurt.
I am going to disrespect Brett Favre. He was a pick machine. Now, I'm not going to disrespect how great he was.
Right.
But, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, last year was his worst season, and he had no one to throw to. He had, Christian Watson was his WR1, or it might have been Randall Cobb, who's 30+. It's a terrible receiving core. And yet, you give him the Jets receiving core, I think they're a playoff team. Even though the AFC East is a very difficult division to be in, I think they're making the playoffs. I think the whole playoff, drought for Aaron Rodgers goes away. I could see them making the AFC Championship.
The AFC East just got really hard, bro. It's got super hard if Aaron Rodgers is there.
Oh, if he's there, okay.
Yeah, if he's there, of course. Because with that receiving core,
playoffs like he always does. I'm not moved by Aaron Rodgers.
What do you mean?
Listen,
let's be real. Time out. First of all, the only reason why the Jets didn't make playoffs last year is because Breece Hall got hurt. We all know that. Because every single game they split with everybody in their division. They beat the Dolphins. They put up 40 on the Dolphins.
Wait, stop. Tua was not there. Tua was not there.
I'm going at Wayne next. They beat the Packers. They beat the Panthers. They split with us. They split with the Bills.
They beat us too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they were very, very competitive, and that was mainly because of their defense.
Listen.
When Breece Hall was
are you guys picking them to win the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl.
Are you picking them to go to the AFC Championship?
I'm picking them picking them to go to the playoffs and get a good seed. I'm picking them to win the division, maybe. maybe.
I'd be picking them to be better than the Bengals and the Bills. But Chiefs is another story entirely, as long as they have.
And that's all that matters. That bad man in Kansas City.
Dolphins.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Man. Yeah,
but Patrick Mahomes has lost before.
He has lost before.
Yeah.
He's lost to the only person I remember him losing to
was Brady. Brady and Burrell.
Brady and Burrell. Yeah, Brady and Burrell.
Josh Allen in the regular season.
Regular season.
We talking about playoffs. We're talking about
Yo, y'all don't be counting on Marcellus, bro. Year 2 Kenny Pickett, bro. Come on, y'all need something to second, bro.
Year 2. Contingent. I hate talking it like this, but contingent on Tua, like the Dolphins is like, I ain't gonna lie, my pick, bro. I think they just made a lot of moves. Even though it's my team, it sounds biased, but it contingent on his health, bro. They're my pick to win because when he plays, it's crazy.
Bro,
and they picked up more speed.
Don't win, bro. Then I don't want to hear no more Dolphins talk, bro. There's no reason. I don't even want to talk about the Dolphins because it's insane how good y'all are, like on paper.
Okay.
And
I said contingent on health. Contingent on health. We got Mike White as a backup though, so we go see. We go see.
I'm dead. All right, man. Let's get to the next topic, man. So, D-Hop wants to be on the move. There's 5 teams in the sweepstakes. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, Atlanta Falcons, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, and Las Vegas Raiders. We also I add one more team, the New England Patriots as well. What team do you believe is the best fit or where D-Hop should want to go? Did I lose? They lost me. They lost me. All right, you guys got me back. I don't know what happened.
I got you. We talking about D-Hop. I picked. Let's go. We pretty much. What's the best move?
Yeah, lost me again.
I think the team that should go after him, which would just make them like ridiculous, would be.
You just.
I blame Spectrum. We both have Spectrum that's ruining us right now.
He's not that, deep threats when it comes.
Yeah, DL, you're like lagging real
speed,
quick.
But he's definitely a playmaker.
Okay.
And I think Kansas City has been missing that since they
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you, Wayne, very clearly. DL is lagging a bit. Hold on, DL. I'm gonna have to mute DL for his day.
Well, I think he said the Kansas City Chiefs. Which
he said Kansas City Chiefs.
I heard Kansas City, yeah.
Yeah, I think he said Kansas City Chiefs because obviously.
Wait. He back. You back now, DL?
No, I don't think he back.
Oh no, he's not back.
All right, I kind of agree with him. I kind of agree with him for the simple fact that if Lamar's not going to be a Raven, it doesn't make no sense for him to go to Baltimore anymore. I don't think he wants to catch passes from Tyler Huntley. And the Chiefs just lost Juju, who was their wide receiver 1, and they obviously lost Tyreek Hill. So it'll be a nice big splash for them to get him, unless they just believe Kadarius Toney is the future wide receiver 1 on that team, which I do see shades of that. But I would like to see him on Kansas City, or let's get Mac Jones an elite receiver and see what he's really made of. No longer having Matt Patricia calling plays. So I think that would be good. I think the downfall for Mac Jones last year was Matt Patricia calling plays. So DL should, as a Patriots guy, should want Mac Jones to get an elite weapon. Even at this old age, DeAndre Hopkins, when you saw him play, when he wasn't yelling at Kyler Murray for making the wrong read, he was catching passes. So.
Theo, if you want to finish up what you said, because we missed like the last part of what you said. Because we know you said Kansas City, but we missed the last part of what you said, though.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, no, I said Kansas City. Because I was saying since even though obviously they won Super Bowl last year, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill was crazy because Tyreek Hill was a playmaker. So if they are able to get D Hop being an elite talent, paired with Travis Kelce, that's definitely spreads the field a lot more. Juju, he's not a bad receiver, but for him to be the number one receiver on that team, not the
He's
number one
gone now.
target.
He on your team.
I know. Stop. Don't remind me. For him to be the number one receiver, and Patrick Mahomes in that offense, paired with all the receivers that they have, right, and all of the weapons that they have, them having D-Hop would definitely put them more over the edge. Even though they already are competitors, they, like I said, just won a Super Bowl. I don't think that I don't think he'll be a good fit for the Bills, because Gabe Davis. I don't, because they still have we got to remember that they still have receivers that were injured. Their two slot receivers were injured. And Gabe Davis is a deep threat for them, and obviously Stephon Diggs is the number one receiver, number one target. Las Vegas, I don't know, kind of iffy. They need a quarterback more than anything, because they have a decent receiving core. Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams. I don't know if I like that pairing. D-Hop and
That's a great receiving core to set your quarterback up
That
with,
is very great.
D-Hop on one end, Hunter Renfrow on the slot, and Devontae Adams on the other end.
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't know. I think they need a quarterback more than anything. I don't know.
Will Levis will do great things there.
True.
I am so confused just with the whole Las Vegas thing. People are saying they need a quarterback because Jimmy G might not be able to cut it. They need defense.
I forgot
that's been their problem for so long. They need defense. If they waste picks on DeAndre Hopkins, then that front office is basically saying screw you to all the Raiders nation. Like, they are missing an entire defense. All they have is Max Crosby, and that's it.
Chandler Jones was definitely a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, other than getting that amazing pick six on New England.
Stick homing Mac Jones to the ground. Yeah.
I think Kansas City will be the best fit for DeAndre Hopkins. But I really think Buffalo should go after him. Reason why is because when we look at the AFC, everyone has gotten better, but Buffalo. They are in the same position that they were last year, meaning they didn't get any bet. They just re-signed a couple guys. They didn't get any acquisition.
Do you think a receiver is their need though?
No, and this is the reason why I say this. When Stephon Diggs was locked up, Gabe Davis was not enough. Those other guys that they had out there was not. You have to, with a guy like Josh Allen that sits there and like the slinging ball, he goes through his progressions. You gotta give him another option. And I'm not saying Stephon Diggs is not enough. I'm just saying Gabe Davis is not enough.
It wasn't that though. McKenzie and Crowder got hurt, bro. Like, that's two other targets.
Yeah, that's two other targets, but those two other targets aren't as good as D-Hop. And that's but what I am saying is that if you give Josh Allen, because we see what Josh Allen done with just Stephon Diggs. Yes, Gabe Davis is good. He's a big play guy, but it's not going to be enough for them to beat Kansas City. And now the Bengals has gotten good. Dolphins has gotten good. Aaron Rodgers is about to go on the Jets. The Jets has gotten good. You have to add some more pieces because they're playing top defenses now. Defenses are getting better in the AFC. They have to add another offensive piece, big offensive piece that can change, that can spread out the field. So that because once you stop Stephon Diggs, it's not much they can do because their running game is not that good. They didn't pick up a good running game.
And that's where I was going to. I think the bigger need for them is a running back.
Derrick Henry?
Because one, you preserve Josh Allen. And now when you have a threat of running back, you can't do all that double teaming.
But the thing
on
is,
Stephon Diggs.
You can trade for D-Hop, and you could get because they're look at the free agency and running backs right now. There's some decent running backs in free agency that still hasn't gotten picked up, so they can still pick up some guys. They have the opportunity. D-Hop is a great opportunity for them, and that will change the AFC. Now the AFC, if they get D-Hop and they pick up a running back in free agency, now the AFC is up in the air for me because especially if Aaron Rodgers go to the Jets. AFC East.
Asking price for D-Hop isn't that much. It's
like a third
max
round.
the second round pick right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not
so
that
the
high.
Bills could definitely draft like Bijan Robinson in the first round if he falls. And I've been hearing that he might.
I'm hearing that's their guy. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that's their guy.
I think D-Hop's Buffalo's guy, man. They should go after him. That's a good
I think
for them.
You're right. It makes sense. It makes too much sense. That's why the Bills won't do it.
That's exactly right.
Oh man.
You know, I have that sentiment for a bunch of AFC teams. You know, Browns, Bills, Jets, Raiders now. But I mean, Kansas City, man. Like Patrick Mahomes literally just won a Super Bowl with Juju as the WR1. I mean, D-Hop, it just makes so much sense. And the Kansas City Chiefs are a smart team. They have a smart front office. They should do what they can to get D-Hop. And although I did just find out D-Hop's no trade clause was voided due to suspension, so
yeah, because So he doesn't have a choice, but he still kind of has a choice. Even though they say he don't have a choice, he still has a little choice. If you tell them I'm not playing for that, the organization, you're not playing for them, not gonna trade. So, we also talk about another receiver on the market, Odell Beckham Jr. Supposedly in New York, because he was on Aaron Rodgers' wish list, as they like to say. Supposedly he's looking for $20 million. Where do we think is the best case scenario for him?
If you're looking for $20 million, you need to relax. You need to relax.
$20 million for 1 year? Yeah, it's a multi-year deal.
No, that's $20 million per year is what I've already said.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, bro.
No.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. I'm not paying. He can stay a free agent for all I care.
I mean, I hear the XFL's looking for players. So.
It's ridiculous. I mean, but if he does come to a deal, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because there's so many. I don't know.
To me, Buffalo is the perfect fit for him. You guys want D-Hop. I think D-Hop is still a wide receiver 1 in the league, right? So I think Odell at this point is a wide receiver 2. The injuries have made him a wide receiver 2, an elite wide receiver 2. He is an elite wide receiver 2.
All right, yeah.
No, I just see DL losing this line because I said Odell's a wide receiver 2. He is. He's an elite 1. He can be maybe 1, but I think this year, because I don't think this year coming into this season off an injury, he's going to be a wide receiver 1. He's going to be a wide receiver 2.
That's like saying Cooper Kupp's not going to be a wide receiver 1 coming off an injury.
Oh, my God.
It's not the same.
How is that not the same?
When was the last time Odell looked like a wide receiver 1?
When he was snapping in the Super Bowl. When he would have won Super Bowl.
Because Cooper Kupp was taking all the attention away?
Come on. No, he did. He didn't even finish the game.
Bro, he had 4 catches for like 1 something. And 2 tutties. He would have won MVP. And
he may have been on track for that deal. But again, Cooper Kupp was taking the max attention. And again, that would be 2 years ago. So
Lamar coming off injury won't be a QB1 either.
That's not equivalent. That's not equivalent. It's not equivalent. It's not equivalent at all. It's not equivalent.
He missed a year. Like he literally missed 1 year. And before that, he was one of the top receivers in the league. You wasn't naming me 10 receivers that were better than OBJ, not 10 receivers.
There were 10 receivers better than Brown's OBJ. There was 10 receivers better than Brown's Odell Beckham Jr.
I said there weren't 10 receivers that you were taking over OBJ.
Over Brown's Odell Beckham Jr., yes.
Doesn't matter, bro. You can Browns clown. It don't matter, bro.
What do you mean?
Over OBJ, bro. OBJ, one of the fastest receivers in the league.
Is he still a top 10 receiver to you?
Skill wise, yes.
All right, we're talking about skill.
You ain't seen the skill in 2 years.
What have you done for me lately? That's the thing.
He's gonna have to sign a prove it deal no matter where he goes.
Yeah, facts.
I get that.
So sign a little 10-year, 1-year deal with some incentives to the Bills. Have Stephon Diggs on the opposite side, play with an elite quarterback in Josh Allen, and ball out and get a payday. Look what Juju just did. A prove it deal, and now he got a 3-year deal with you guys to not do nothing.
I take it. I take anybody over Devontae Parker. We got rid of Jacoby Myers. That was our best offensive threat, which is stupid.
You look stressed.
Right, I don't want to talk about it.
Would you want Odell, Swoop?
I would want Odell, but I don't think. Our problem is Mac Jones, bro. Like, it's not.
It's not Mac Jones. It's Mac.
How's it Mac Jones' fault? You just said it. He was throwing it to Devontae Parker.
He was throwing it to Devontae Parker, but he still got to be able to make plays if he's going to be our elite talent. If we're going to consider him our playmaker, he has to make plays.
He can't throw and catch the ball too, bro. He can't do two things.
He can't even throw the ball.
I mean, listen.
It's decision making.
He was a Pro Bowl. He was a Pro Bowler at one point.
Like, again, bro, we've won games with Mac Jones by only throwing 3 passes a game. How is that possible? How do you win a game by only throwing the ball 3 times?
That is
wasn't
crazy.
it snowing heavily?
Yeah, it was like, the conditions was ridiculous. The field goals could barely be kicked.
So high. I mean,
I don't care.
Okay.
It could be a tornado. You need to throw the ball.
You know what the last, well, not including Tua. You know what a last quarterback who came out of Alabama is right now? AJ McCarron throwing passes in the XFL.
Another year, great while doing it.
Hey, Jalen Hurts was just in the Super Bowl. Excellent,
right?
Alabama QB.
Well, now Tua, the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
But again, Jalen Hurts was it the system?
Who knows?
Mac Jones is really the only player to come into the Patriots system and make it worse.
I know. I mean, to be fair, Jalen Hurts, Alabama quarterback, great weapons on Alabama all the time. Right. Goes to the Eagles, gets mediocre, average mediocre when he only had Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, which I don't know how he had an average season like he did that year, but then he gets AJ Brown loaded on offense, best offensive line. I mean, it's the system.
Yeah, I mean he's at Alabama again.
Yeah,
he literally that's where he's at.
Oklahoma, product of Oklahoma. Not give Alabama him. Nah, they did him dirty.
Any more thoughts on OBJ at all?
Nah.
I think Joe too will like this though. So Dallas Cowboys have been making some moves this offseason. They get Brandon Cooks from the Houston, Texas, right down the street. Will this elevate Dak's play?
Yes.
And does this
100%.
make the Cowboys the number 1 team in the NFC? Based on the moves that they made this offseason, are they the number 1 team in the NFC going into next year?
They're the number 1 team in the NFC East. Eagles lost too much in the free agency, So going in the hardest division, yeah, they're the best team there. And will it elevate Dak? Yeah, 100%. I mean, last time he had 2 great options was 2020, 2021. 2021, he broke the Cowboys record for most passing touchdowns in the season. But 2020, CeeDee Lamb's rookie season, he had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and he was on pace to crack 6,000 yards. Does anyone else remember that before injury?
I do.
I mean,
yes, I remember. I remember the stat padding and the fake comeback when you guys were down 20 plus, and then you had to throw the ball, and he would throw the ball.
So who should we blame? Zeke. Zeke couldn't run.
No,
I'm not gonna call it stat padding, but these were empty calorie stats because you guys would be down 7-28. And then all of a sudden, in the midway through the third quarter, Dak would turn it on. And then next thing you know, it's 250 yards later, he threw for 400 yards.
I get where the whole stat padding narrative came from in 2020. But also you got to take into consideration everything. The Cowboys had the 28th defense in the league that year. And then first game against LA, they were like, it was a 3-point game. Then they beat the Atlanta Falcons, had a great comeback. Seattle Seahawks, 7-point game. Cleveland Browns. I didn't think it was over until the final minute because of how well Dak was.
You know about that game. That's the game that made me know it was that. You guys were down like 21, like 7 in the fourth, and it was like 24-7. Then out of nowhere, you guys turned it up and then forgot that Cleveland Browns can run a reverse, and Odell took it.
They were down by double digits against the Falcons with 8 minutes left to go. I mean, they made comebacks that season. 21 points wasn't really anything. If the Cowboys had the defense they had today, then that game they could have come back. But I mean, he was having a historic season. Okay, and I think this year Brandon Cooks. I heard Colin Cowherd say that he wasn't good, most traded player in NFL history. That kind of shows he has value still. He's not getting cut or anything. He's getting traded, and I think the Patriots
first round picks.
Patriots got a first round pick for him when he went to the Rams. This should definitely elevate Dak Prescott, and they lost Noah Brown too, so that should elevate Dak Prescott. Right. He should throw less picks because of Noah Brown leaving. Cowboys were making moves.
Right. I think Brandon Cooks is the most, since he's been in the league, he's the most consistent receiver. He's giving you the same thing every year. Doesn't matter where he was at. He gave you the same thing every year. And I think, obviously, that's what you need for Dak. Now, do I think it's going to elevate Dak's play? I think the only thing that's going to elevate Dak's play is Dak, right? Because I've seen Dak with the weapons. I've seen him with, the team, the defense, the receivers, and I've seen him ball, but I haven't seen him win the games that matter. And that's what I want from Dak. I love Dak. I'm a huge fan. I just want it, and I think that's the moment that makes or break him is when the games that matter.
Who did you just describe?
Stop it. Stop. I'm not going here with you. I'm not going.
Who did you just describe?
He's better than him. He's better than him. All right. He's better than him. Dak has playoff wins. I'm not saying he has playoff wins. He has won playoff games. He doesn't always lose at home. He's not like that. But I think with all the tools that he have now, there's no reason other than the 49ers. I don't know what they're going to do with Brock Purdy. I don't know how Brock Purdy's going to play on next year. But
John Lynch came out today and said that he endorsed Brock Purdy to be the starter next year.
He's going to be. I feel like he's going to be the starter, but I don't know how well they're going to be with him now. Other teams seeing who Brock Purdy is. So, but we'll see how that plays out. But other than Dallas is that team in the NFC, they should at least make it to the NFC Championship. They should. And that's what I'm giving.
No.
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's what Lamar get to the Commanders. That's all I'm gonna say.
How well Dak plays.
Right.
With a curse, man.
The only way the
Cowboys
would make it to the NFC Championship. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Give me Cooper Rush.
Oh my God.
Give me Cooper Rush. Man, Dak Prescott ain't got no impressive wins other than one Giants win this year. I'm looking at the schedule. I looked at the schedule, and he's beating teams that are terrible. The Bears, Texans. He lost to the Jaguars.
He torched the Eagles defense this year.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Dak.
Dak.
They won.
Same thing when they beat Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner.
He
Minshew.
was
It's still the
playing against
defense
the-
was still
he was
there
playing
though.
defense.
Stop
They're
it! Like
They're resting.
I didn't see Gardner Minshew on as playing a cornerback. I saw him playing
You're right. You're
quarterback.
right. He did do his thing.
Yeah.
I do think it's to elevate Dak's play, but I think the bigger thing that's going to help elevate Dak's play is not only Brandon Cooks, but a healthy Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup wasn't healthy last year. He's coming off some surgeries. I think him being healthy will be really good. I do think they're going to miss Zeke, depending on what they do in the draft, just because I don't think Tony Pollard's going to be the Tony Pollard of last year with that injury. So should be interesting to see.
I'm very surprised they moved on from Zeke though, honestly, because he did a lot there. He did a lot for the Cowboys, and
he got worse year by year.
He did get worse year by year, but I feel like if he goes to another team, I think he's gonna do well. I don't know why. It's weird. I felt like they probably should have kept him.
Yeah, I'm not talking about this because that's a subject for another question.
Yeah,
we can get right to it. We can get right to it. We can get right to it. Talk about Zeke.
Okay. Just want to say Zeke might be getting worse year by year, but his uses are still there. You know, he was one of the best blocking running backs in the game.
Yeah, he is fantastic. Him and Jerry McKinnon are like amazing blockers.
People were surprised when I discovered this, but he was the second best running back in the league on 3rd and 4th down success rate.
Oh, wow.
Granted, he was the 5th actual player because the top 3 were all quarterbacks. But him and James Conner, yeah. Okay. So it really hurts that Zeke's gone. It hurts me right here in my heart. Because I know he has uses, and I think the Cowboys know he has uses. That's why Mike McCarthy said today he wants him back, if that's possible. But
it's the money. I think the money wasn't worth where he was at.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course not. He was getting paid, I think, $15 million at least this year.
Right.
So the money definitely wasn't worth it. But
I think he definitely has his. I think he definitely has his uses, of course. I mean, Go ahead.
I said he made a list that he wants to go to Philly, Bengals, or the Jets.
That hurts too.
He said Philly. He said Philly. I mean, Philly's a good fit. Miles Sanders left. They still have a great O-line. So that would be a good fit for him. Now, if the Bengals want to do, maybe because they don't really have a good, rotation with their running backs with Joe Mixon. So adding Zeke to that will probably be also a good thing. But they're kind of the same, I would say. But obviously, Mixon is better.
Mixon's a terrible pass blocker. So
yeah, he is a terrible pass blocker.
Useful.
Yeah, because that's why they have P. Ryan play on third and longs.
But how well is Zeke catching out the backfield? Is he great?
He's a good catcher. Okay. He's not what he used to be, but he's a good catcher.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe that can something to the Bengals and probably help them out.
But do we think he wants to be regulated to a 3rd down back only?
His probably won't let him.
I think if he wants to stay in the league, he probably will have.
Right, exactly.
But the Bengals, I think, are a great fit for him because they have a problem consistently in the Joe Burrow era. That's offensive line. And the problem is they somehow are not good ever. They were all falling all out in free agency, getting offensive linemen. What happened this year? They still weren't great. So getting a running back like Zeke who can block for Joe Burrow, that's
do you think it's the O-line, or is it also I think it's a mix of the O-line and Joe Burrow's pocket presence.
Okay.
Pocket presence.
Okay.
Because a good quarterback can make an O-line look better. Like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the best offensive line. And Orlando Brown got beat often. But Patrick Mahomes just knows how to avoid sacks.
But when you also watched, I actually look at the ratings going into I think the last 10 weeks of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs O-line was rated top 3 because of they were actually performing. I think I agree with you. Sometimes it is the quarterback because the quarterback does call out their protections. Maybe that does have some, but I know Joe Burrow to be a very smart quarterback. So I don't see that being a problem for him. So maybe I think it's the O-line. I think the O-line is just not that good. It's not good at all. Maybe they need a new O-line coach or acquire new acquisitions, whatever they gotta do.
Well, they got Orlando Brown now. So
yeah, right.
What's a 3-year deal? That's huge for them.
Right.
Still got Lael Collins, and then some other people.
Yeah, their other offensive lineman requested a trade. So their starting guy I think they just got him last year too in the offseason.
Yeah.
Also, Bengals don't have any depth at running back. They have Joe Mixon right now, and then I think second is Captain America. Well, his name's actually Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Chris Evans and P. Ryan.
P. Ryan, yeah.
Do they still have P. Ryan?
I think they.
Actually, I think he's a free agent now. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he's.
They drop him.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent now. So
Zeke would definitely go in being RB2, and like
that's
his usage
bad
are
situation.
still there.
Yeah. That's not a bad situation, especially playing with Joe. He already went to the Super Bowl. That's something Dak didn't do. He's like, I probably could to the Super Bowl.
Listen, nobody's talking about Kirk Cousins on the Cowboys.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna skip the Elijah Moore topic. I got a question for you guys. Let's get the next one. Let's go to Cam Newton. So Cam Newton threw at Auburn's pro day. He was all right. He's all right. He said there aren't 32 MFers better than me. So my questions are, should Cam hang it up? And if he doesn't, what team should or would be interested in him?
First of all, who is the worst quarterback in the NFL right now?
We're talking about starter?
32, starter. 32.
I mean, the worst ones are going to get replaced, like David Mills.
Yeah.
I don't even know who PJ Walker for the Panthers.
So David Mills, taking him out. Colts quarterback, we're taking him out the equation. Who else is looking for a quarterback?
Panthers,
take him out the equation.
Sorry, the Commanders.
Jets, technically still.
Jets. The Falcons, technically.
So Tampa Bay, who's their quarterback? Baker Mayfield. Is Cam better than him?
No.
I think Baker Mayfield's the cutoff, and I think I would take Baker right now. Just because it's not the fact that Baker's proven anything to me. It's the fact that Cam hasn't proven anything to me in recent years when he's played. So I think Baker has.
He was really back for 2 seconds, and then he just shit the bed afterwards.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, he shouldn't hang it up. I mean, backup quarterback is the best job in the NFL.
Cam Newton is too big of a figure to be a backup quarterback, and that's why he can't get another job.
Why he's too big? What do you mean too big of a figure? You mean
Cam is a superstar personality?
Yeah.
You can't have a superstar personality be your backup.
Nah.
He's got a well-known name, and name a guy who used to be a star quarterback that became a backup.
Mike Vick.
Mike Vick's not a former MVP. No, we love Mike Vick.
But he was a superstar, though.
And then look what happened. Look how fast Donovan McNabb got ran out of town when Mike Vick got on the Eagles.
But yeah, he was a well-known name, though. He was a well-known name.
And look what happened. The fans are calling for Vick and wanted McNabb gone.
Yeah.
Man, I think he fit good in San Fran. I mean, Brock Purdy ain't established. He's going back.
I don't know how you don't call Brock Purdy established. I mean, you can say it's the system, but he did take the team to the championship game.
Yeah, he did, bro.
As a rookie, as Mr.
Kaepernick. So did Jimmy G.
Wait, wait, don't do Colin like that. Colin balled that year. He balled.
That's what I'm saying.
He naming the names, DL, because it sounds like a system thing.
Sound like a system thing to me.
Wait, no, Colin balled. He balled.
I'm saying Jimmy G did it.
But Colin, it was a different system.
But you're not gonna. You got a future. You wouldn't ruin the confidence of Brock. If you're gonna ruin Brock Purdy's confidence, you do it with Trey Lance, not Cam Newton.
So you telling me Cam Newton can't sit behind anybody?
No, Cam Newton cannot sit behind. That's why New England got rid of him. They would have kept him as the backup quarterback behind Mac Jones, but they knew they couldn't do that.
He can't go to the Falcons?
Can sit behind
Desmond
what's
Ritter?
his name?
He can start. He can start.
I think he could start, but I think the Falcons. I think it's a post-draft.
It's a rebuild.
Yeah. Okay. It post. All right.
If the Falcons don't pick anyone, then they might get Cam Newton to help teach Desmond Ritter. Right. I could see that being a possibility.
I think Cam Newton will. I mean, I like we say the people might not like it, but I think Cam Newton can sit behind somebody though. Like I think he wouldn't mind it, especially if it's a young guy. If it's a young guy,
a distraction for the franchise.
If it's a young guy,
yeah.
All right, you're right. I can agree with that.
All right. It's a good topic. So before we get to naming our top QBs and receivers, top 10 all time, do you guys have any final winners and losers so far in this free agency?
The Lions, man, they freaking killed it in the free agency. I think they did a really good job. I still don't think Jared Goff is it, but I think they did a really good job adding some pieces to their team. I think they won the free agency this year.
Yeah, I got to say the Cowboys, just because obvious reasons, getting Stephon Gilmore, getting Brandon Cooks, keeping all their key players, and actually doing something in free agency. That's a new feeling for me, because that front office never does anything during free agency. So I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm not usually the Cowboys fan that says, this is our year, but I'm persuaded to start saying that because it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But I also got to say the Chicago Bears are a winner for the free agency because they got the best wide receiver in Bears history, DJ Moore. I mean, going in, he's the best receiver the Bears have ever had. And you can go look up the list. I think Walter Payton is fourth on all-time receiving yards.
That is crazy.
No, he's not. It's like him and Matt Forte. Like, it's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, it's nuts. I didn't know that.
Think in our lifetime, there's never been a good Bills wide receiver.
I mean,
they try to turn Devin Hester to a wide receiver. That's how desperate they were.
That is crazy.
They've never had a good quarterback. They've never had a good receiver.
Allen
Robinson, man.
Allen Robinson was pretty good for some time, though.
I guess. What did you say? DJ Moore was better than Brandon Marshall? Brandon Marshall was there. I mean, Jay Cutler had some years.
Brandon Marshall was a top receiver, like it was during his time, like his prime years. He was like top 5. I would give it.
Either way, DJ Moore is the second best.
DJ Moore is lit though. He's that guy.
It doesn't matter. He hasn't played a snap.
Yeah, I think it is just worth noting that the Bears' all-time leading receiver is Johnny Morris, who played in the 50s and 60s with 5,000 yards. And Walter Payton is fourth with 4,500 yards.
Wait, you said all time?
Yeah, all time.
So, damn. That's crazy.
And Matt Forte is 7th.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I'm on Pro Football Reference, and they don't even have the wide receiver position for the top 2 Bears receivers. That's how long ago it was.
Yo, that's nuts. Now I'm thinking about they didn't have like a top receiver that stayed there for at least 6 or 7 years. Like not even 5. That's wild.
So yeah, I have Bears one of the winners. They got a nice haul for that number 1 overall pick, which I thought they would get. Lions did a great job. Cowboys, you get a receiver that was defense MVP a couple years ago. Get Brandon Cooks. You get Zeke off the books. Probably if he comes back again for cheaper. So I'll give them that. And losers, Ravens.
Of course, we know.
Ravens are some losers. And then not loving what my Steelers have been doing. So even though we did sign Larry O back,
I don't think people have noticed. It's kind of flown under the radar, but like 10 days ago, the Chargers had 22 players in free agency still.
What?
Yeah.
And they're going to lose Austin Eckler.
And they got only one player back.
And you know that
I don't know if that, I don't recall if anything changed in the past 10 days, but
I mean, the early power rankings have the Chargers 7 right now, and I'm trying to figure out why they have them so high.
It's the hopefulness of Justin Herbert carrying that team.
Yeah,
to the promised land.
He's never even proven himself to be able to carry the team. He made the playoffs once, and he's like a top 5 quarterback to some people. I find that crazy. People say that wins are quarterback's stat. He hasn't won.
yeah.
And when he does win, goes to the playoffs, he loses at home.
Blows a historic lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, he did blow that. I forgot. Definitely blew that.
24-0 loss. No, it's 27, I think. But that's that generational talent in Trevor Lawrence. All right, man.
Trevor Lawrence guy.
Dio, you got any winners or losers of free agency?
We're losers, Patriots. Up Juju. But no, I agree with the Cowboys. Cowboys made some good moves. Team that was already pretty good. I think that I don't know if Brandon Cook's gonna get him over the hump, but that does add to them already having Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Don Schultz.
No, Don Schultz gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone?
Yeah.
Who they
He's
get?
Texan now.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I
Went
know
to the lesser team.
They'll probably get Darnell Washington and the tight end from Georgia.
if they can get them, then
They're not. I don't think he's dropping that low.
They don't need a tight end. I mean,
Yeah.
they have
Their
Travis
backup tight
Kelce
end's pretty
literally
good.
said,
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson got name dropped by Travis Kelce, and Hendershot has some moments as a blocking tight end at least.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine
So-
at tight end.
Yeah.
All right.
They
Let's
need-
get to it, man. Let's just get to it. Top 10 QBs of all time. Who wants to go first?
Jesus. You want to just go all 10 straight up?
Yeah, all 10. All
right,
10.
I'm gonna go first, bro. I got y'all. Tom Brady is my number 1. I have.
Why you don't go 10 and below, man? You
all right. Well,
do
you
one.
want me to do 10? Okay, I'm gonna start. All right. Well, y'all know Tom Brady's number 1, so I'm gonna do 10 anyways. 10. I have Drew Brees at 10, and then I have Elway at 9, Rodgers at 8, Brett Favre at 7. Well, no, I'm sorry. Brett Favre at 8, Rodgers at 7.
I was gonna say because you guys just told me.
My bad. Marino at 6, Steve Young at 5, Peyton Manning at 4, Joe Montana at 3, Patrick Mahomes at 2, Tom Brady at 1. That's my top 10.
Not bad list. Not a bad list. You're missing a couple names. What is a name?
What name? Don't say Ben. Don't say
You best believe he's in mine.
Yeah. You said no.
You best believe in mine. He's
I got
mine.
bias in mine too, so
Okay. All right. Well, that's my 2. Who want to go next?